What's happening, everyone? It's time for another total chaos. This is a fun one. We've got NBA, we've got MLB, we've got NHL. We got a little something for everyone on this one. My name's Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays, and these two experts are going to let me know if the games are going over or under the total. Before we get started, I need everyone to like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and let me introduce everyone to Scott Reichel. How's it going, Scott?
Doing pretty well. You called me in while my Nets are in the play-in game, so I had to sacrifice watching them. Thanks, I guess. You know, it is what it is, but happy to be here.
All right, beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, hey, I'll try to make it quick unless you want me to extend this so maybe you don't have to watch much more. There's always that. Sean Higgs, how are you doing today, friend?
Not too bad. What you complain about the Nets? They're up by 16. What's going on?
Oh, they were up 20, but now they're up 14, so we'll see. I'm not that worried about it. It's fine. I'll catch the second.
I got the Nets. I got my 7.5 and 8, so I'm happy right here.
Okay, cool.
Do you have that thing where, like, if you aren't watching the game and they score or don't score, then you have to keep doing whatever you're not doing? Do you have
the right answer is that it's all based on hindsight. So if they give up a massive run, then yes, I believe it. But if they keep winning, then no. It's a case study. It varies.
Like,
you know?
Well, my thing is, like, if I'm not watching the game and every time I click on and we're up, but then as I'm watching we go down, I'm like, clearly I can't watch this game because I'm the problem here. I'm the freaking problem here. Higgs, do you have that?
No, because you know me, I just bet it and forget it. I just clicked on the thing to get the score update because I'm actually like sorting some baseball cards, and then I'm going to go do some mulch in front of the house.
There's an expression which I use when it comes to superstition. It's only weird if it doesn't work.
Exactly.
So there you go.
I like that.
It's got real fast. So you like the Nets, and then before the show you said something about Yanks. Are you in New York, Jersey guy? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm in New York. Right. So let's just say it's been a pretty eventful day. You know, thoughts and prayers to everyone involved. There definitely a bad scene, but yeah, as a whole. Yankees season just started. Nets, of course, hopefully, fingers crossed, play the Celtics. That would imply that they win tonight. So my teams are doing okay. But yeah, it's been a pretty rough day for the state of New York.
I saw this morning, like, what the hell, bro? It's like
world's a crazy place.
Yeah. I
just you can't stop Blackos. I say it all the time. Like, you know, you're not gonna stop that. There's nothing you can do. People are
stupid.
No, people are insane. They want, and especially now with like. Who knows? Like between Instagram, like everyone wants their moment of fame. That guy could have been live streaming it for all we know. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
All right, so let's get this party started. We're going to start out in the MLB with your Yankees. We got the Blue Jays at the Yankees, feeling like the Yankees probably rally around what happened today in the news. Want to give the people something to believe in. 8.5 is the number. Scott Reichel, over or under?
So I'm going to go with the under. I know that both pitchers were particularly terrible in their first outing, mostly Berrios, who has an ERA of, north of 100. So that's not exactly good, but he's still a solid pitcher. They paid him a bunch of money. I'm not going to overreact to one bad start for both sides. Cole was awful in the first inning against Boston, but he settled down after that. I actually was kind of impressed with how he kind of righted the ship afterwards. But an 8.5 total with Garrett Cole is something you don't get that often. And the Yankees' offense has really not been great for the last couple of games, so I do think this total is a bit high. I'm going to go with the under.
All right, Higgy, what do you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely agree. One, we throw out one start here in baseball. It's not a big deal. And with Cole, I mean, you're a Yankee fan, I'm a Yankee fan. You know the Sox rough him up, and he's always good for a bad inning, 3-4 runs. He settles down. The Yankees got a solid bullpen, and the Blue Jays bullpen is not as bad as what they look like against Texas. They're a solid pen. 8.5. I'm going to ride it again. Yankee bats, all or nothing. Let's go under the 8.5.
All or nothing. All right. We're going to move. Seattle is at the White Sox. Seattle's at Chicago. The Mariners are playing the White Sox. I don't like when people split things like that. And I just did it. Anyway, the number's 9. Higgy, what do you got?
Under. I mean, 9. It could be 5. I mean, this Seattle cannot hit. Have you seen this lineup? And I'm high on Seattle. I like all the young guys. I like who do you got? Like Siri and Kelnick, and they got Winker, Suarez, a bunch of guys. I love it. But you know what? They can't hit, and I'm not going to bet thinking they're going to get an over when unders have been cashing left and right here. So give me the under. That's that.
9 seems like a lot. What do you got on this one, Scott?
I'm going with the under as well. I mean, Seattle, unfortunately, I had a piece of, and they couldn't get a hit against Dylan Bundy, which was a real pain in the ass. But either way, Seattle offensively has been a mess. You also have Robbie Ray on the mound, and he looked really good in his first outing with Seattle, 7 innings, 1.29 ERA. So he's sharp. Keuchel hasn't appeared yet. We'll wait and see. But Seattle can't hit. This total's too high. I'm going with the under.
All right. So now we're going to from Wayne's World right into the NHL. All right. Rachel's too young for that, I feel like.
I've definitely seen the movies. So
okay,
there you go.
Okay. Thank goodness.
He looks young. Look at that little. He looks like he's like 21.
I have an old soul, so I've seen the movies.
I would agree with that you are an old soul. I think he's 24. Aren't you like 24?
I am. Party on, Garth.
Party on, Wayne. Yay!
Have you seen Benny and
so
June?
we got
The question, Scott. Have you seen
Have I seen what?
Benny and June with Johnny Depp and Mary Stuart Masterson?
Unfortunately, no. I should have quit when I was ahead, but
I was just because Allie's wearing a hat from Benny and June. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah, I have
the same
solid
hat.
5 or 6.
There you go.
So we're talking the Montreal. Me and Higgs are big into 80s movies, so this is like always kind of something that gets brought up whenever we work together.
That's it. Whatever we do at a show, whatever. It's all bringing 80s and weird quotes and nonsense.
It works for us. So we got Canadiens at the Blue Jackets at 6.5. And Scott, you're going first on this one.
So this one, I feel like this number is right where it should be, but I'm actually going to go with the over. You're looking at the Canadiens' goaltending situation, not great. Jake Allen, of course, got injured last week, which means they're going back to Montembeault, who I'm really not a fan of. When you have a save percentage below 90%, that means you're having a kind of a rough year. Columbus doesn't play much defense. Montreal doesn't play much defense. First meeting of the season had 9 goals. It is a very high total, but I think it's high for a reason. Not to mention all the empty netter shenanigans late in hockey games itself. You have an overtime draw at 3-3 as well. I'm going with the over. I don't trust either defense.
All right, not trusting them. Higgs, do you trust either defense?
I mean, we are 3 for 3 here. I'm on the over as well. So, and my simple cap of this is they got 2 teams just playing out the string, nothing to play for. Pad the stats. Let's have some fun, right? People guys want to get paid. They want to get those goals, whatever.
Both teams are trying to lose, so they'll just let the other team score, right, for the draft lottery.
Nowhere to go. They're definitely not going up. So I want the score to go up. That's about it. Go over 6.5.
All right. So up next, we've got, sorry, I'm a little bit out of order right here. Bam. The Kings. LA Kings are at the Colorado Avalanche. That number's a 6. Higgs, where are we at on this one?
I'm on the under here. I mean, we got, these guys right now, it's like a 1-8 matchup, I think. Last I checked for playoff seedings. These guys are maybe facing each other. So I'm thinking we're going to see some defense. Kings in a back-to-back too as well. So figure maybe a little tired feet there. Colorado come out, play their defense, get ready for the next 2 weeks of playoffs coming up. I go under here, 6. It's a nice 4-1 game.
Rachel, what's your thoughts?
Well, we're on the same page. I don't think they're going to play in the first round, though, because as of right now, Los Angeles does have the 3 spot in the Pacific, and Colorado would play a wildcard team. So they might play at some point in the playoffs. But either way, I still like the under. They've played twice this season. Second meeting landed 3. First meeting landed 5. 6 just seems too high for a Kings team that is mostly defensive oriented. They're not a great offensive team per se. They did lose Drew Doughty, which is kind of rough because he's been their best defenseman for about a decade and a half. But I'm going to go with the under. I'm hoping they can contain Colorado because taking under with the Avalanche is always a stressful situation. I just don't think the Kings contribute much. I'm going with the under.
All right, ready? We're going to the NBA. The Hornets are at the Hawks. It's 230 and a half. I feel bad you have to go first on all the new ones, Scott, but it's kind of just how the game is played. 236 and a half. What'd you got?
Well, we're 4 for 4, so we'll see. I don't know if we're rooting to agree on everything or not, but we'll find out. I'm going with the under. I think this number's too high. They've played 4 times in the regular season. 3 of the 4 meetings had less than 223 points, and yet this total's 236 and a half. That's way too high for me. Not to mention playoff atmosphere. You're expecting to see less fouls, a little bit of slower pace. But the under 6-1 in the last 7 meetings, and for a big trend here, the under is 12-2 in Atlanta's last 14 games versus teams with winning straight-up records. So against good teams, Atlanta's defense might buckle down a little bit. The total's way too high based on the head-to-heads, though. I'm going with the under.
Higgs, same?
The same, but I'm looking for back to the hockey. How do they seed these guys? I just pulled up like the regular hockey seedings, like playoffs, and they had in point order, they were 8th. That's why I was like,
it's mostly division oriented.
Division.
So
I know they switched it like a couple years ago. How they do the.
Well, I don't know what was wrong with the 1-8. I thought the 1-8 was perfect. I didn't have an issue with it. Whatever.
If you win, you should be number 1. If you're got a worse record, I don't understand that as well. It's bizarre to me. So
Seems self-explanatory, you know.
I don't get it. Yeah. So you know what? Back to this thing. Yeah. Under for me, and normally this would be an over because I see 236. I'm like, you get close to that 240, they try to scare you. Right? You need a bunch of points. But again, it is playoff time, and that's it. I'm 236, too much for this time of year. You know, this is the one and done kind of feel here. So I'm going under.
I did a free pick video with Ross Benjamin just before I came in here, and he was all over the under, and his trend stats were insane. Like when the favorite is between a -4 and a -9, and it was like it's 7-0. So I was like, okay, so we're going under then. 7-0 trend. Let's rock. Spurs are at the Pelicans, 227 on this one. Higgs, what do you say?
I'm going under again. It's defensive. I look at this.
Yeah.
Listen, Pop. This could be Pop's last game, right? I mean, I just think everything just points to a deliberate kind of game, not messing up. He's, this isn't the 99 Spurs with Duncan and these guys running around putting up 140 points. I think it's going to be an ugly game, and I won't be shocked if this one gets to like 210. So under for me, I got it like a 213.
All right. Maybe that's how we'll break the tie. Call the final score in the Spurs Pelicans game. Higgs has got 210. Right, Shell? You going over or under on this one?
Well, we agree on everything, so we're gonna have to change the name of the show because it's not chaos; it's the opposite. But I'm going with the under. I kind of have to. It's the same exact logic I had for the Hornets Hawks game. Playoff basketball. 3 of the 4 regular season meetings had less than 216. So once again, this total seems like it's way too based on regular season, but it's not because that landed below 216 each 3 of the 4. But the under 7-1 in the last 8 meetings. The under is 9-4 in New Orleans' the last 13 games. This total just has really just thrown my head for a loop because I just don't really understand why it's so high. But I expect the Spurs to slow the pace down a little bit. New Orleans has been a little bit slower with CJ McCollum. They still like to run, but I think that San Antonio would rather play at their pace, of course. Give me the under. I think it'll land probably around 219.
Okay, so is that how we're going to break it?
Unless you want to go best bet, and I mean, we agree on everything.
You could still both get those. You could still tie those. I mean, I don't mind a tie, but I prefer a winner.
Okay. Well, we could still. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess.
Right,
I mean, we could still. He said 213 though. I said 219. It could land 216, and then we're all screwed.
Yeah. No.
So I don't know.
Yeah, we'd have to go Price is Right rules. Whoever's closest without going over.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, I got 213.
Okay. Do I be a dick and go 214?
Hell
no,
yeah,
I'm not gonna do it to you now. I'm gonna go 217. I'll go 217.
Right, so
I'm not gonna Price is Right you though, because the person who goes last has like a significant advantage every time. It's just not fair.
Pigs.
And that's so fun. That's like coming and be like, well, I kind of like who's the 440 favorite in hockey today? Be like, all right, we're picking our best bet today. I'll take that one. What?
Yeah, that's fair. I meant best bets on this of games we talked about on this show, though. Yeah. So let's do a little bit of recapping. If you haven't already searched the internet on how to find these guys when they're not on Total Chaos, stop right there because I'm going to tell you right now. You can find Scott Reichel on Back to the Window with Scott and Scott every day at 3 p.m. Eastern. And you can find him over on Twitter at Reichel Radio. Scott, tell the people, I love your show. You guys crack me up. I'm a special guest there every Friday. Higgs, I don't know if you knew that. Tell the people at home what you guys are cooking up over at Back to the Window.
I was impressed by that subtle plug you just threw in there. Yeah, we have Ali on every Friday. Besides that, you can find me on Twitter at Reichel Radio down below, as you can see. I'm really happy that we got a bunch of playoff action now. Hockey's also ramping up. Unfortunately, my Islanders had a bit of a rough beginning. I know the Rangers are in the playoffs. Whatever, I don't care about them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to covering, sports. You got the USFL starting up in about a week, so you got some football coming up in the spring. A lot of stuff going on.
I don't know how I feel about the USFL, but I do know that Vegas kind of has a bad A team. So I might get real I don't even like regular football, though, so I don't see myself getting super into this football. I do kind of like Canadian football.
But there's one rule, though. If you have a brand new league, you bet the unders in week 1. That's been around for a while, so I'm probably going to do that in week 1.
If you guys are looking for Sean Higgs, find him on Twitter at Mr. Sean Higgs and find him every day at 12 p.m. Eastern. I don't know why that K got there. Free here was Sean Higgs K. I'm not sure how that worked out, but at 12 p.m. Eastern, Higgs, tell the people what you're doing on winning free picks.
Oh, well, you just mentioned the winner free picks 12 for midday money. That is me, and it's just a good free pick show. And I've been throwing this year, last year we started, it was just kind of like for college basketball, and I just kept going forever. Now it's a lot of MLB prop bets now. It's basically an MLB prop bet, 12 o'clock. There's one for like every game. But, we hit hockey and NBA or NFL, college football, whatever's the soup du jour of the day, So basically that, it's a nice, fun show. Come on in, say hello. You know me. Come by, you guys want to. I don't mind. It's a free for all. But just be prepared for, 80s quotes and, song lyrics and movies and me talking about the good old days when you'd call up a 976 number to get, score phones and stuff. And, none of this instant stuff.
The good old days.
Not on your phone, getting everything live betting when, you called your 718 bookie in Staten Island and there was no live betting, no halftime bets, no in-game betting.
That's old school. I remind the morning woodies, I'm like, remember when you have to go to a sports book to make a bet? But y'all had a whole different situation going on back in the day.
Need a 30 timer on this, 10 time reverse, people what language is that? I remember first start calling and when I'd go to when it got legal, you'd be like, wait, I'd look at this. I wouldn't know how to bet because it's numbers as opposed to, it's dollars instead of numbers. Like I put 100 timer in, it's like 500, so it's 100 times. No, here it's got to be 550 to win 500. It was confusing. I'm like, what's happening with my life?
Try going to England and doing fractional odds.
No.
That's a pain right in the butt. Fractional odds suck. And they're so easy until they're not. I can get that a 5-1 is a plus 500 or a plus 500. I get that. But then you give me 11 to 2s and 9 to 5s. And oh my God.
The signature 1.93. That's the signature decimal odds right there.
We won the war. No fractionals. No. American odds only. We won.
Take your metrics.
Get out of here, red coats. Go back. Yeah. Get back on the ships. Get out of here.
You're funny. Okay, so let's do some recapping. So subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. That's how it's gonna ring the bell for notifications is gonna bring you to midday money every day at noon Eastern. It'll bring you to my show, Morning Wood, every day at 1 p.m. Eastern. We got Scott and Scott every day, 3 p.m. Eastern. So you guys definitely want to make sure you are all hooked up. If you're looking to buy premium plays from Sean Higgs, head over to picksandparlays.net and use the promo code MLB. That'll save you 20% off all of his best bets. And here we go. We're talking Blue Jays at the Yankees. The number's 8.5. They're both going under. Just spoiler alert, they're about to agree on everything. Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Was not planned, believe it or not.
No. But it's good because when y'all agree, those tend to be the money-making picks on the show, the consensus bets. So, hey, let's make the people some money. You guys can duke it out in the parking lot later. We'll have an arm wrestling match.
This is a 5-1 night for everybody.
Right? No kidding. Mariners White Sox is a 9. They're both going under that total. The Canadiens at the Blue Jackets are going over the total of 6.5. Kings and the Avs, the number is 6. They take it under the total. Hornets and the Hawks, 236.5. It's going under. And the same with the Spurs and the Pelicans, 227. Is going under. I guess I could finish that sentence before I go on to my next one. So in that game, in the Spurs game, we're saying the final score, Reichel says it's 217. Higgs says it's 213. Price is Right rules, closest without going over. Are we all good with this?
Yeah, it works for me.
We agree.
I'm gonna ask you though, do you disagree with any of our consensus plays?
The only one I kind of thought that
the hockey ones are tricky.
Spurs Pelicans might go over. That one felt a little bit overy to me, but I'm not the biggest NBA girl that there ever was either. So, but the best bet that I liked out of all of them was the Hornets to stay under. That was kind of the one I was into.
It's a huge total for an NBA playoff game.
It really freaking is. Defense wins championships. Okay, defense.
Neither of those teams are winning a championship, though. That's the problem with your theory.
Zero of them. Yeah. But if you want a shot at doing it, if we're playing, we talk about playoff hockey. If that's what we're doing here, you need to play defense. It's just where
I'm just hoping for less foul calls. That's really how I'm going to determine these totals.
Yes.
That's a good call too. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on Total Chaos. Thank both of you. It's always a great time. Don't forget about that Caesar Sportsbook promo. Find the link in the description of the video or use Morning CZR. Until then, I will see y'all next time. May the best capper win.
See you.